Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic weekend, and in today's video I am going to give you two stocks that I really like that have had lots of insider activity on them. All I ask in return is that you hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when a new video comes out. So this last week was yet another bearish week. I finished personally at a 0.93% loss, and that was following the insiders. So following the vital few versus the trivial many. And you might say to yourself, well, you lost money following the vital few, but the overall market had a 5.92% loss this last week. So insider activity, and this has just been my experience over the last 5 years, is that insiders continually outperform the market. So if you are buying stocks with legal reported insider activity and you are following the right type of transactions, you will outperform the S&P 500 all the time. Now, I do have a Patreon group where I cover these buys and sells, and it's very easy to be a member. All you have to do is check out the link in the description down below. It does cost a little bit of money, but for the small amount that it costs, you will easily make it up with one great trade. Well, let's get into this last week, and I always have the habit of tracking my trades. There wasn't too many insiders that got me excited. I had 4 that I hit an exit point on. 2 of them were winners with an average gain per pick of 1.07%. And, so this was definitely a tough week on the market, but I do like a few different levels, and let's go in and take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF and take a look at some of these open gaps that are here. Okay, so you see all these crazy lines. The yellow lines are open gaps. The red lines are very, very important resistance levels. And so you can see there are gaps galore around where we're at. And that on Friday, with the CPI report being negative and us traveling so far down, that we created a new gap to open the market. And we kind of skipped a gap, which was kind of crazy. We really finished right on top of one. And then just popped on down. So let's go to the 5-minute chart and kind of take let's go to the 30-minute chart. You can kind of see this better. So on Monday morning, when you were taking a look at this video, some different levels that I think are very, very important is we have a lower gap of 385 on the overall stock market. That is a gap that has never been filled yet, and on the S&P 500. So if we see continuation of this trend, that is where I could see it going down to. And then we have another gap open below that at 379. So those are your kind of the down targets. But up here, now that we've created some more gaps, this is going to be interesting here. 397 is going to be resistance, especially maybe we get good news from Powell, who knows, from Fed minutes later this week. That is a level to pay attention to, and also pay attention to 401 is this new gap that's been opened. And so in between this range, it's going to be really interesting to see how the market performs. I would think that Monday and Tuesday we would see modest bounce from where we were at, but I don't know what's going to happen in the market, and the market really doesn't care what I think. So keep that in mind as we're looking at these levels. But these are some important levels to pay attention to on Monday morning. All right, so let's go and take a look at these two stocks that I like. These have both had significant insider activity, and we want to follow the vital few, and insiders are those vital few. We start with NRDY Incorporated, ticker symbol NRDY. Now, this has had multiple officers buying at open market, but mostly the CEO has been buying. And on Friday, another CEO reported insider buy in aftermarket. So we have an average analyst price target on this. Let's go to the daily chart. We have an average analyst price target on this of $4.88. So analysts like it right around here. There's a gap right there. That's kind of interesting. Right at $5 a share, there's a gap up here. So we are seeing some positive momentum. This is actually performing extremely well, even with how the market has been performing around it. But we have yet to have this this grand thing where we see the 13 EMA pass above the 48 EMA. That's always something I'm looking at on the daily chart. So that hasn't happened yet, but we've had lots of insider buys. Huge conviction by the CEO buying up shares. We're not talking just a few shares, and we're not talking a small amount of money, but we're talking multiple buys in open market. And so those are the things that you look for when you are tracking insider activity. The RSI, it's not overbought, it's not oversold, it's just kind of in the middle, but we do have momentum here. Also on the MACD, it is looking good, and we have a positive MACD right now. So all the signs are pointing bullish on this, especially with the insider activity. There could be news around the corner. There could not be news around the corner. And this could be just a CEO loading up tons of shares because of how far this stock has dropped in price. But I will continue to hold it. We'll see if we get some news, especially while the insider activity continues. I'm looking for a nice move on this stock, and I think it's one you could make money on. All right, let's go to the second one. And the second one is Nextdoor Incorporated. So Nextdoor Holdings Incorporated, and this is ticker symbol KIND. It's kind of strange that we have a ticker symbol of KIND, and it's Nextdoor Holdings. Kind of interesting there, but hey, whatever. But big director buys in open market, really big director buys. And this isn't a normal director. This is a director who's on the front lines and knows very well how the market is, how the company is doing, and is a managing director. And so that's something that's kind of important. Someone who would know about how the company stock would be. And so some really, really big insider buys. This is one I think that will really turn north, especially if these buys continue. Looking for the 13 EMA to get above the 48 EMA. Has not happened yet. We came up and we touched that 48 EMA and then got rejected from that level, and then now sitting on this 13 EMA. It looks like the market is really dictating the movement of this stock, and this one is moving with the market. It appears that there might be news, but usually with a big news event, you'll have multiple officers in open market. And so far, we just have the director, but that'll be something to watch. If we see a CEO, CFO, or another director go in on shares on this, you will want to pay attention even more to this stock. But I like this for a nice move up. I like this for a bounce with the market, and to even possibly see if this insider activity continues by this director, to see this movement up here. Some important levels of resistance to look at. This is going to be a very important level at $4.75. I would be thrilled stock got there. Most likely I would be a seller right around that level. Some other levels of importance is 565. And so that's one to watch up here. And then we have a gap fill, open gap here at 638. I think that's 638. Let's see if I can get my cursor just right. Yeah, right around 638, 640, right in there with an open gap way up here. And so that would, of course, would be wonderful. Really nice movement on the stock. I'm expecting great things this next week. All right, so it really isn't as bad as everyone thinks it is. I know everyone is so bearish. Everyone thinks the market is going to go to the floor. It's going to zero. That is not what's going to happen. I have confidence that this market will have a turnaround, and it's going to be really, really strong once it happens. Try not to be discouraged. If you have a great strategy, then you need to continue trading that great strategy. For me, it's following the insiders. For you, it may be something different. I have a friend who makes lots of money on shorting different stocks that do purchases of other companies. I have lots of different friends of mine that use different strategies with lots of success. And so anyway, I just want to encourage you to stick with it. And I appreciate all of you watching. I look forward to seeing you next time, and Raythoven out.